Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the BF Tailgate Party. Call it a party, I guess. It's a party of three. That's what we're going to do it. So, folks, welcome to another edition. It's BF, it's Buffalo Fanatics. Big game today, folks. I hope you guys are ready for this one. This is the rematch. This is what we've been waiting for several weeks for this thing, man. We wanted to pay these guys back. Are we at full strength? No, we are not at full strength. However, neither are the New England Patriots. So, Evan, help me out here. Who's active? Who's inactive for the Patriots? Let's talk about it.
So, obviously, a big blow for New England right out is their receiver 3, Nelson Agholor. He hasn't had a huge impact on the season, but that's going to allow a guy, like N'Keal Harry to step up. So, we're going to see what they got in him. But having Nelson Agholor out kind of takes him down the field shots away from them. And also having Ramondre Stevenson out is going to hurt as well, because we all know New England really loves that RB2 in their offensive system. They don't just rely on Damian Harris to RB1. They will give Ramondre Stevenson 8 to 12 touches a game, meaningful touches that they need to get positive yards on, and not having a bulldozing back like Ramondre Stevenson in their offense can really hurt them. They have Joe Juan Williams, their corner, out as well. Jarrett Stidham. We all know Jarrett Stidham. He's a bump. He's not that good. He's out. Devin Asasi, their tight end. Sean Wade, their cornerback, who I did want. I think it was a draft or two ago. He got picked up by them. And Joshua Bledsoe, their defensive back. And I think they have 2 guys on the COVID list that is out as well with Ramondre Stevenson. I can pull that up in a second. But
so, and I'm glad you brought that up, because they're yes, they go with the. I think Brandon Bolden is out as well. I think he's on the COVID. I don't know if he's hurt or if he's on the COVID.
No, I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah, if you don't mind looking that up, because that's another part of their offense that is that can hurt us. So right now they have a unhealthy Damian Harris that's still nursing a hamstring injury. So who knows what that's going to present today. I had a Pats fan hit me up in my comment section from my last show and was like, "Hey, the same way you guys are beat up, we're just as beat up in key positions as well." But one key position they did get back was Kendrick Bourne. So we will see how that plays out. So it'll be Kendrick Bourne. It'll be the 2 tight end combo of Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry had a pretty decent game the last come up. So it'll be interesting how that plays out. Here's the deal. We're going to jump right into it with our own inactives. And Mitch, your thoughts on that. What's that, buddy?
I think both Brandon Bolden and JJ Taylor are back. If I'm reading this right, it's not giving me a date, but it looks like,
because I wasn't sure about the Brandon Bolden one. But, Mitch, talk to me on our inactives. I want to know what your thoughts are before we get into it. We got Matt Breida. I guess the Matt Breida experiment is done with, and we tried it for a few games. First game he showed out, had 2 touchdowns, 1 reception, 1 running, and it looked pretty damn good, right? So we said we want more of Breida. So Breida inactive. Tommy Sweeney, interestingly enough, is inactive. I wonder if it was that big drop that he had last week, but who knows? And a more frustrating one is Star Lotulelei being inactive. So I want your thoughts on that, Mitch. Those 3 inactives, talk on them. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll start with Breida. Listen, I don't think this means Zach Moss is getting the ball, because let's be real. Like we know what happens when Zach Moss gets the ball. It's 2 yards. He probably runs into his own lineman. Like, it's just the same thing with him every week. And that's coming from, me and Ryan, who were the hugest Zach Moss guys at the beginning of the season. But the one thing Zach Moss is good at, not what he claims to be good at, but what he actually is good at, is pass protection. And with the O-line having this situation they're having, especially with all these guys, injured on COVID, whatever it might be, Moss can help out in that department. I think that's probably what he's going to be used today, because honestly, I liked when they just committed to last week as Singletary being RB1. I think they have to just continue with that moving forward. As far as, Star, man, frustrating is the right way to put it, Rico. His availability has been just spotty for whatever reason this whole season. And I know the Patriots are down Stevenson, who he hurt us last time. Let's not, forget about that. Ramondre is a good player, and he's a tough cat to bring down. But even with him out, that's still a pretty good run game with Harris. So I don't love Star being out. I know it's like a personal, reason, so I'm not going to try to like
Right.
speculate on like what it is because it's
Right.
obviously none of my business. But
Yeah.
it's a little tough with him being out. But I think Moss being in really is just for pass protections to keep Josh upright because otherwise, I mean, he'd be running for his life, I guess, even more. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm gonna add my 2 cents on that on Zach Moss being. I mean, I was with you. I was all about get Zach Moss involved, get him going, get him doing what he's supposed to do, and he will prevail. He will get us. He will get us the tough yardage that we need. Right. I think he was built for it. I think he's got enough long speed. You guys haven't seen it yet, but he does have the speed. Right. Quickness may not be there, but he does have the speed to get going. But however, we have fallen into a position where I don't know if it was internal frustrations with Zach Moss being inactive twice, you know what I'm saying? And then Breida doing absolutely nothing for us. We thought we could get him involved, but we could not. It just didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out. But Zach Moss has had success against New England. He's the type of back that you need for a tough, gritty type of a game. Breida, it just didn't work out. So I'm hoping to see the things that we wanted to see from Breida. Now, Star Lotulelei being out, in or out, he's made some differences, but he's not an impact player. I think that's the biggest thing we have to accept is that Star Lotulelei is a good piece for this team, but he's not an impact player like I thought he was going to be. So that being said, it is what it is. And then Tommy Sweeney being inactive. I'm trying to think. So who steps up? It's just
Reggie Gilliam.
It's just Reggie, yeah.
Reggie's going to be slotted at the tight end position. Forget about no fullback, or he's just going to be doing double duty. Who knows? But 3 inactives, we're ready to go. But the one topic we're going to switch right into that is ready to go is our left tackle. It looks like our guy, Dion Dawkins, has been activated and ready to go to protect the left side of the line. How big is that, Evan? Talk to me on that.
Oh, that's huge. And especially in a game like this, when he's probably going to be going up against a guy like Matthew Judon, having the left side or having Allen's blind side protected is the biggest thing that us as Bills fans could ask for. Having a guy like Dion Dawkins back, I don't know if he's going to start or not. I don't know how severe his COVID symptoms were over the last few days. But if Dion Dawkins is fully healthy and ready to go, Bills fans should be happy. That's our Merry Christmas gift from the Buffalo Bills, is having Dion Dawkins activated last second off the COVID list to be ready to protect Josh Allen's blind side. Hopefully he's healthy. Fingers crossed. He can step in, play at his Pro Bowl now level that he got selected to. And, it's just huge. It's just huge for having a guy like that back in this game. But that's all you can really say.
It's massive to have that because we were, I mean, Mitch, I'm sure that you've written about it. I'm sure you talked about it. What makeshift line did you have coming into this game with Dawkins out of the game?
I mean, honestly, I'd like to probably burn it is what I want to do with that because it was ugly, man. But no, having Dawkins back is huge because first of all, anyone that was saying that Spencer Brown needs to be a left tackle and that Dawkins isn't the guy we paid him to be, last week was a prime example of what that looks like, and it's a disaster. So Dawkins being back is massive because Spencer Brown's a right tackle and a right tackle only. That discussion needs to end after now officially. And I think, as far as the interior guys, that means Darrell Williams comes back to right guard, which I think we can all agree that's probably where he belongs. So you have your offensive line kind of intact here, your main 5 starters, and that's massive because I said it, man. I know that people love Gabe Davis. I know that Cole Beasley is a big part of the offense, but getting Dion Dawkins back rather than getting those 2 guys back, in my opinion, was way more important because Allen can make other receivers look a little better, but there's nothing you can do when your O-line is some hot trash, and that's what they were going to be without Dawkins, I think.
Well, speaking of the O-line, I got my man Stevie J. Trump, 2024. I see where your mind is at, Trump. He goes, hey, is the Bills O-line slimming down on weight? So here's the funny thing. I talked on this a week ago on the size differential between the Bills O-line and D-line. Right. And I always felt that we were a little slim on the line. So Jay Trump comes in and says, is the Bills O-line slimming down on weight? Brown is only 314. I don't want to say he's only 314. And I guess you could say he's only 6'8", right? So he's 6'8", 311, 314-ish. That's still an imposing size of a man, right? Mitch is only 305, right? At the center position, I mean, how heavy do you want them? You still want them nimble enough. But in hindsight, I'd have to see what the average size of a center is in the game, right? But 305, New England's front, 5 are heavier in body weight. Like Onwenu, am I saying that? Mike Onwenu is 350, for example. Here's the deal. Your interior line is your big boys. I mean, those are the guys that push. They don't have a lot of agility. You know what I'm saying? And some of them are freak athletes than they do. But most of these guys are just there to push the line. So we got owned the last time we played the New England Patriots. We got pushed around. So there is some weight in that comment. What can we do to negate that? Mitch was right. Get rid of the ball quickly. Move the ball quick. Get it out of your hands. That way these guys are going to be gassed up. I have a theory that when these guys are big boys like that, you need to get rid of the ball and move the ball quickly, right? So that way you get these guys gassed up by second half. These guys are gassed and ready to go, and that's when you pound the rock and you keep going. So maybe that's a route that we may take. So we got a super chat coming in. Who's that? Carl Tolman. What's up, Carl? Carl says, hey, a great crew today, guys. Merry Christmas to all. Dawkins being back is huge. It's also my birthday tomorrow. Oh, shit. Happy birthday, bro. I'm wishing for Brian Dable to be the game MVP. Evan, Brian to be the game MVP. Is that who we're hoping to elevate this team to a victory?
Yeah, I mean, it depends the way you look at it. If we're going to score 37 points, yes, Brian Dable probably will be your game MVP with all our receivers out, that we have limitations in our receiving room. If Brian Dable can scheme up an offense to get guys like Dawson Knox more involved downfield, getting guys like Isaiah McKenzie involved, or even heck, Jake Kumaro. If we're getting guys like that involved, Brian Dable should be your game MVP. Just not trying to force feed the ball to Diggs or Emmanuel Sanders and trying to get our other role players involved. And if Brian Dable does that and he gets our offense rolling early against this New England Patriots team, we should have a good shot to win. And if Brian Dable is going to do that for us, heck, he might have a really good shot to be your game MVP. And sometimes, you know,
it happens sometimes. And here's the deal. With the amount of injuries that do happen in our games and availability, one thing I can say is Mitch is available. Mitch, how much do you weigh?
I'll just say this, man. If you guys think Miss Morse is light, you got no idea how much I weigh. I'm swimming in this jersey, if you couldn't tell, man.
Are we talking half?
Yeah.
Oh, at least half, bro. At least half.
There you have it. So let me jump into our next topic here, because we got a few things that we want to hit on that I'm very curious about. So real quick, let's touch on this topic real quick. We got 2 Pro Bowlers, Dion Dawkins and our guy Stephon Diggs. How does this play into our game today? Are we gonna have some pissed off Bills players, or it is what it is? It's a big game. We don't need that Pro Bowl stuff to get us motivated. But further than that, how do you guys feel about this Pro Bowl snub nation? Talk to me on that.
Oh my gosh,
Mitch,
listen,
give me some, man.
Listen. I'll just say this: Pro Bowl, like at this point, man, I don't even care about the Pro Bowl anymore, because the voting is so ridiculous. It's just a popularity contest. That's all it is. We've seen. I mean, look at a guy like Jordan Poyer. This man should at least have 3, 4 Pro Bowls. Guy's got 0, right? He's like the 4th alternate. Like, I know what I can see, right? I know what guys are deserving there. And the fact that, and listen, I love Lamar Jackson, right? Like, I'm a huge Lamar guy. I think that the talk about him, all that pre-draft crap that he's not a quarterback, was a bunch of, BS or whatever. But like, just look at the season he's having, man. Like, I just don't know how, not just even for Josh Allen's sake, why is he over a guy like Herbert or Burrow or some of these other guys that are balling out? Like, I don't know, man. Pro Bowl is what it is. But I'll say this, though. The one thing we've seen from McDermott, the one thing we've seen in these Bills, man, is they'll take anything to put a chip on their shoulder. So they've been talking about this all week, just putting that chip on their shoulder, coming out with an edge. The fact they only got 2 guys in the Pro Bowl this year.
That's huge. And speaking of the Pro Bowl, I mean, Evan, are you peeved by these Pro Bowls? These Pro Bowls? Are you just like, man, who cares?
I mean, the only thing that I'm kind of like really like teed off about is when you do sit down to watch the Pro Bowl when it's on, you do like to see your guys out there, whether that being 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 of them. You do like to see them out there. But at the end of the day, I haven't really voted for the Pro Bowl in 2 to 3 years. I'll be completely honest. I have not casted 1 vote for any player. Just because at the end of the day, I know that my vote isn't going to do anything, because it's a popularity contest at the end of the day. We saw that, like Mitchell mentioned, Jordan Poyer isn't in. Josh Allen isn't in. Lamar Jackson got in, having arguably the worst season of his career. He's in. Like, he's just flat out in, and I don't get it. Like, he mentioned Joe Burrow could have been in. Dang, you could have thrown Carson Wentz or Derek Carr in that slot. Oh, I obviously Josh Allen as well. But at the end of the day, I don't think these guys wake up out of bed and go, man, I wish I was in the Pro Bowl. Like, at the end of the day, they know what game they're preparing for. They're going to be prepared for this game. And at the end of the day, afterwards, they'll be like, maybe I wish it was in the Pro Bowl. But at the end of the day, I just think these guys are just ready for this game. They can care less about a little Pro Bowl.
I honestly, good points from both you guys. Here's what I think too is I think this is it goes for all All-Star games. It's a big tampering freaking game, right? You're with all the stars and they're all talking about, fam, like, what you doing over there, man? Your team is trash, man. Yo, come through. When your contract's done, man, yo, you need to leverage it this way. You need to do this. You need to do that. I bet you there's a whole big old conversation to happen with these guys, and then you end up seeing it. I mean, it happens more in the NBA, more so. NFL's a different ball game, but I can tell you there's conversations that are being had. Now, back on this Dion Dawkins, this is a huge addition to this team, because we were going to put out there a line that I didn't trust, right? Because we're going up against a guy by the name of Matt Judon, right? This guy right here, man, length and bend, aggressive. Shout out to one guy, Bobby. I put this through together. Run defender, explosive pass rusher, and he's sixth in the NFL with 12.5 sacks. That man right there in the red sleeves that gives you one of these. When he's done sacking you, he's pretty much saying, yo, I just wiped my snot off of you, man. You're done. I'm coming back for you some more. So we have at least a guy that's coming back and has been playing quite well the last several games. So I'm glad that Dion Dawkins is back. Who on this line do you need to step up, though? Right? Because I have my reservations on one lineman in particular that had an absolutely horrible game the last time he played the Patriots. Can you guess who I'm talking about? Mitch, let me start with you.
Let me guess. Did he just pay for a $5,000 beer this week? Is the lineman you're talking about? Because he's the guy that really
expensive beer. I'll tell you that much.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, for me,
so
the guy that I'm. Well, like, listen, I like Spencer, and he's had his moments, but let's be real, man. I mean, like, obviously left tackle was a problem, but just in general, he just played a poor game. That taunting penalty he had of that Singletary run, drove me crazy. It's like, you're a rook, man. Like, just go back to the huddle. No need for that. And like, I know he's been, some people are saying maybe his rookie wall a little bit, which is possible. That could be the case. So listen, Patriots, they're known for just putting pressure on the quarterback. They got some aggressive D linemen. He's going to definitely have to step it up. But, Judon versus Dawkins is the matchup that's going to, decide a lot in this game, I think. And that's, this is why you paid Dion Dawkins what you paid him this offseason, right? Go out there, shut out their number one edge rusher. Keep your quarterbacks blindside clean. Let's do it.
Evan, what are your thoughts? What lineman are you looking for a solid performance out of them? Is it Dion Dawkins or is it somebody else?
I mean, obviously, looking at the whole offensive line, you want everyone to perform well. And I think Mitchell kind of struck the chord kind of well. It's Dawkins and Brown. You want those edges set and protected for your guy and Josh Allen. I'm not going to touch on the offensive line. I'm going to touch on a pass blocker that we really haven't seen a lot this season. I think the Bills are going to throw in Reggie Gilliam in the backfield a little bit and run 12 and 21 personnel, throwing them around the tight end spot on the side of the tackles or in the backfield in front of Devin Singletary. They're going to run that extra blocker, and they're going to have Reggie Gilliam in there to be an extra solidified blocker, because I don't know how much Sean McDermott and Brian Dable are really trustworthy with Isaiah McKenzie right now. So they might run two receiver sets, one on each side, throw Reggie Gilliam in there to be an extra blocker. But on the offensive line side of the ball, if I had to say one, I guess I'd probably just throw an interior guy like Ike Boddicker. I like to see Boddicker play better, like interiorly.
Listen, the interior line is where I was going to aim at, but I'm looking at Darrell Williams. I don't care what anybody tells me. Darrell Williams has looked like a fat slob and unathletic, uninterested. He's just not been the piece that I've been. And I thought, my man got paid, and he's just average. He just looks average out there, and I'm not impressed at all with what Darrell Williams has given me. Now, mind you, they did bring him in to play the right tackle position, but one could say that either he got demoted or he's just filling in on the right guard. I don't know what's going on with that situation, because he was our right tackle last year, and then now, boom, he's at right guard. So and he got absolutely eaten up in that Patriots game. He was getting pushed around, he was getting swum, he was getting ripped. It wasn't good. And Allen was running for his life. So we cannot have that today. We got pushed back. All I saw was silver helmets all up in our backfield. If you want Josh Allen to stand upright, we got to have all guys on the same line. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Scott Blakely. I'm not going to forget about you, Scott. Scott comes in with a nice super chat. He comes in, hey, he's like, Merry Christmas, fellas. Hey, by the way, everybody in the chat, Merry Christmas. Everybody that my guys, Mitch and Evan, Merry Christmas to you guys. I know we spoke a little bit on the Christmas in the background, but Merry Christmas, everybody. And he says, I don't want to win, right? I want the destruction of the Patriots. Phone throwing and media narrative destroyed. Let's effing go. You already know Scott Blakely's ready to roll. He's ready to go. He's not trying to win by one. He wants to win by many. And by what a lot of Bills say, Bills by a billion. That's exactly what my guy Scott Blakely wants. And I don't blame you, Scott. Scott, that's what we need. We want a decisive win. We want to win. We want to win, obviously, but we want to be able to not only win this game, but repay the Patriots and let them know, it's like a double whammy. Let them know you ain't about to run this damn division for many more years. And by the way, we're about to win the division again. So let's try to get this win and let's try to stop the bleeding, you know what I'm saying? And really kind of put the wound and cover the wound up. And then let's go on a run in these last 3 games. Now, speaking of these last 3 games, the last game we played against the Patriots, here's what it looked like. All right. Mac Jones didn't throw a single freaking pass that mattered. Right? Let's keep it buck. He threw a freaking screen pass, and that went for nothing. So the comparison of these two quarterbacks, I have to put it out there because a lot of folks want to talk about how Mac Jones is overrated and this, that, and the third. Dude, Mac Jones is a good quarterback. For a rookie, he's playing like a rookie right now. 69% completion percentage. He's thrown for over 3,100 yards. Like, I mean, could you imagine if Josh Allen was able to do that his first year? Like, listen, he's doing quite well. 18 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, sacked 25 times. And rush for another 80. Now, we got a juggernaut on the other side in Josh Allen, 65% completion percentage. He's at 3,700 yards. He's on pace for over 4,000 yards once again. 31 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, 26 sacks. 26 sacks is here's a crazy one for you guys. That's good for 8th in the league, 8th best. Yep. The 8th least sacked quarterback. You would never know that was the case, right? And I found that puzzling, but I'm like, I know what's really good. Is because he's athletic. If he was a statue, it would not be good for the Bills because the Bills' offensive line has been, the best word I can say is inconsistent. But we have ourselves a battle going between these 2 quarterbacks. Now, what are you expecting? I think that's the big question. What are you guys expecting from McCorkle Jones? Evan, I'm gonna start with you. What are you expecting today?
It's kind of just what you can expect from him week to week. He's a guy that's kind of put in the system just to make the right read. Might take a couple downfield shots depending on how the game's going. But I mean, realistically, I think the Bills have a shot to get out early on this game. And if they do, we're going to have to see a different type of Mac Jones. And if Mac Jones has to play from behind, we're going to see more dropbacks. We're going to see less play action. We're going to see more downfield shots. We're going to see less runs on first down. We're going to see more throws on first down. When Mac Jones is from behind, playing from behind, we haven't really seen that yet. We saw that against the Colts a little bit. And there were some passes that Mac was throwing. It was like, we haven't seen that in about 5 or 6 weeks. Because when Mac's throwing and getting aggressive and getting a little trigger happy, he's not that same quarterback that we've seen throughout the year for New England. And that's the type of game I expect us to play out today. So that's the type of quarterback I kind of see us dealing with today is a trigger happy Mac or McCorkle Jones, where he's getting happy, he's getting in a rhythm and just throwing the ball downfield and trying to catch up against the Buffalo Bills from the score we're going to put up early on him.
That's what I'm expecting. It's an awesome expectation. I have to give credit to McDaniels. McDaniels has this guy prepared heavily. It doesn't hurt that you have Bill Belichick, one of the best coaches in the game. So shout out to that squad, man. Patriots, I've done a good job grooming this young quarterback. I mean, to the point where they ousted Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? And Cam Newton is just, I don't know what's going on with Cam Newton. Cam Newton is it's rough right now from a man Cam. But that being said, we're looking at the ratings and the how these teams stack up. League rankings, right? So we right now are the 7th ranked offense, 16th ranked offense for the Patriots, right? Middle of the pack. We still are we're hosting the number 1 defense. And guess what? Patriots are right behind us, man. Top 5 defense. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. 7th in passing, they're 17th. And here's what I find puzzling. I mean, obviously Josh Allen factors into this, but we complain about how we're not great at running the rock, but we're 12th in the freaking league in running the rock, and the Patriots are 13th. The way we talk about a run game, myself included, is that we can't run the rock. We're 30th ranked in running the rock, and we're just terrible, right? It goes to show you that sometimes our fandom gets in the way of the facts and the numbers that are going on, but sometimes the numbers can be deceiving, right? And the deception is if you take out, and you really can't because that's part of the run game, but Josh Allen accounts for 500 yards of rushing for this team, right? I think the next best rusher is Singletary, and he's got what, 400 yards, 500 yards, give or take.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up for me, please, because right now I think Josh is our leading rusher.
I think he is.
For crying out loud. So I mean, there you have it. I mean, it's no different.
Singletary's got 633.
Excusez-moi. So I'm underselling our guy Singletary. Now, speaking of Singletary, Matt Breida's out. Singletary's in. What are you expecting from Singletary today? Mitch, I'm going to start with you. Singletary being in, and he got 22 touches last game for what, 80 plus yards. It was refreshing to see Singletary have the ball in his hands. And the more you saw him get the touches, the better he got during the game. And I'm hoping that that's the same, the same remedy that we bring into this game. Mitch, are you confident with that? Or do you think they're going to go back to the same old BS and sprinkling 50-50 between Zach Moss and Singletary? What are your thoughts on that?
Rico, they better not do that 50-50 nonsense, because I'm like you, man. I'm like you. I like when you get the running back the ball 15, 20 carries, because then they get in a rhythm. They start to get a feel for where, for the holes and how their line's blocking. When you give the guy, the ball 7 times, like, it's just impossible for him to get a feel for the game, and I just think that last week, right? Me and Ryan were saying on our show this week, right, that like that was the most normal looking the Bills run game has looked. And I swear it's got to be like 3 years at this point. I mean, it's been a while, and it was kind of nice to not have Allen have to shoulder the running game along with also throwing the ball. That we could hand the ball off to Singletary and let him do his thing. And I think people also have to remember, we always talk about like, oh, his rookie season, he was so good. What happened? His rookie season, he was getting the ball kind of a lot. Like he had games where he was getting 20 carries sometimes. He was getting a couple catches, and like, I think you saw that last week because they said, you know what, enough with this rotating guys in and out, running back by committee. We're just going to stick to Singletary, who's been the most consistent of the 3 running backs, I think, this season. It's kind of not even close. And you saw some production. Like, Singletary's not bad. I'm not saying that he's, up at the level of Kamara or some of these other dudes, but Singletary can get the job done. They just got to, like, give him the opportunity, I think, to get the job done. So, to answer your question, Rico, I think they got to stick with just he's RB1. Moss comes in when they need him, but that Singletary is that dude in the backfield for today.
Thank you very much, Mitch. You couldn't have said it better. Give the guy the touches he deserves. You run all year and you work your tail off to earn something. You can't tell me that Devin Singletary hasn't earned the touches for this game. He hasn't earned it. Don't you sit there and feel sorry for Moss and try to get him the touches. Zach, this is where I said Zach. Evan, this is where I'm going to bring you in, right? When it comes to Moss, are we being too harsh on Moss? Has these 2 games that he sat got him motivated and ready to contribute as the running back that we thought he would be?
Yeah, I mean, definitely having Moss sit these last 2 games, you would like to think that he's going to be heavily motivated to come into this game and just obviously earn more touches, play better, get more involved within the game. But at some point in time, we're this late in the season, and why try to establish something that just hasn't worked all year? Early on, it worked when Moss came back from that week 1 problem. He came back and he had a nice stretch of 4 games. But after that, he just hasn't been productive or the running back that we thought we were getting out of Utah in 2020. And the fact is that you can't establish something so late in the season when you're fighting for a division title, when you're fighting for a playoff spot, when you have the playoffs not even a month around. Like, the playoffs are what, 4 weeks away, 3.5, 4 weeks away. We're fighting for a playoff spot. We're not fighting for our running back 2 to get established. We have Singletary. Here's our guy. Like you guys mentioned, get him more touches, get him involved early, whether that being just a quick dump off, a screen pass, a draw, whatever we want to do with Devin Singletary. Get him involved early and often. Make him your established RB1 going forward, because it's too late to get Zach Moss involved. I'm not saying you can't put him in and give him 4 to 5 carries in a game, but it can't be 4 to 5 carries where it's like you have to get those yards. We have to establish something with them. It's too late to establish something for Zach Moss. We already kind of, ship that sale, wherever. But it's the Devin Singletary show now.
I kind of like it now. I'm gonna play the advocate. I hate saying devil's advocate. I'm gonna play the advocate here, right? The Batman's advocate, if you will. So here's the deal: Zach Moss isn't just the trash garbo that people want to make him. Listen, he's had a bad stretch. The game, it may be a little too fast. So sometimes you got to take some time off and realize, like, yo, this, if you don't get your act together, this could be done quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm talking about career-wise, right? Because you don't want to be in a position where you're losing touches and then all of a sudden you're out looking for a team, and now you're just deemed as the backup running back. You can find yourself out of the league real quick, especially at the running back position. I'm not ready to give up on Zach just yet. I think he's got great qualities. I know Scott Blakely said that Breida's a better receiver. I would defend Zach Moss, and he's a great receiver. He's got great hands. If you've seen him in the past game, he's had some nice receptions on the sideline for us. So this is where Dable comes in. Put him where he's at his best. If it's goal line and he has no vision, just plow through, so be it. We just need to get the points and get there. Now, Devin Singletary do the damn same thing, but I'm just saying I'm not ready to give up on Moss just yet. I think he still has some good qualities, but this doesn't negate what I'm trying to say here. Devin Singletary has earned the touches. He should get most of the touches, and when he wants that breather, that's when Zach Moss comes in, and that's just the way I look at it. Now, this game here. Now, before we get into this game, I've got to give a big shout out to the design team. We've got 2 designs out right now. If you guys have not been able to get to the BF fan shop, jump in there, and the general tees are out. Y'all need to jump on that ASAP, because right now we're gonna need every bit of his leadership today in this game, right? And today's game is just gonna be one of those things, man. Grind it out. Put your helmet on and get going. It's a Buffalo state of mind. Y'all got to jump in there. If you don't have these, get them ASAP. They'll get to you guys. Obviously, Christmas is over with. You'll get that in the new year. Some of these are quick to get to your places. I know for us in Canada, it takes a freaking minute. It takes me forever to get mine. So I had to order mine real early. So, gentlemen, this game is a big one. This is for the division. How important is this to you? And I'm not talking about to the fans and how is it, Evan? How important is it to you for these guys to win the division? Is it important to you or not?
Oh, it's massively important. I mean, the only easy way you can say it is if they win the division, or if they win this game, obviously they have sole custody of the division for this week and moving forward. If they win the next 2 games against the Falcons and the Jets, you get home field advantage for the wild card game.
Right.
And that's the thing. I'm pretty sure everyone watching and everyone here would prefer to have home field advantage. So that's why it's important to me, is to have home field advantage and kind of dictate the way you can kind of carry yourself throughout the playoffs for at least 2 games. Let's say that for at least 2 games, you can dictate where you are going in the playoffs and kind of create your own path. And it's all going to start with this game. They got to win. They got to get that division lead that we haven't had in a few weeks. And then we'll just kind of look from there. We'll see where we're at with that after we win this game today.
Mitch, is this an important game for you as the viewer, as the fan? Or are you like, listen, I just want to get in the playoffs. That's it, man. Win or lose, just want to get in the playoffs. How do you feel?
Man, I mean, this how could this not be important? I mean, listen, like I know I'm a little younger, but listen, I'm 22, right? So I'm a drought baby, as I like to say, man. Like I've seen these Patriots beat up on these Bills and win this division easily, right? For essentially my entire life until last year. You don't think I don't want to win this division and watch the Patriots either have to come on the road to try to play some team in the playoffs, or better yet, even maybe miss the playoffs? Still an avenue for that, by the way. Come on, man. I want this division. I want a Bills home game in January with a full stadium, not some, half-empty COVID situation. I'm talking full Bills Mafia, making it loud for anyone to come play us. I don't know what fan wouldn't want that, because that's kind of what I feel like we, all those years of going 7-9 and missing the playoffs and not knowing what's good with our team. Then we all kind of dream of that happening, right? Division winners hosting playoff games, in January with the snow and everything. Listen, I want this win, I think, as bad as everyone else here, and I hope the Bills want it too, because division title, like Evan said, that is a good way to get you to that ultimate goal of a Super Bowl, man. Is hosting a playoff game. Makes it a little easier, So let's do it.
So, and here's the funny thing, man. I needed to check your pulses, right? Because it's a pulse check. Because it could have been, listen, all I want is to make the playoffs. I don't care how we get in, we're making the playoffs. But it's who we're playing today that makes this more. If we were playing the freaking Jaguars, for instance, you know what I'm saying, and it was for the division, if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. I know that we're gonna make. It's the Patriots. We've got to make sure that we get on top of that. Speaking to my guy, Scott Blakely, with another super chat. I appreciate it, Scott. By the way, I read your comment. Your girls are much more interested in the post-game show. That's love. Your girls are sweethearts, by the way, because they know good entertainment when they see it. I appreciate that. But Scott Blakely comes in and says, hey, this game is as important as the AFC Championship. Damn. Okay, Scott. In my opinion, this game sets the precedent for an authentic run at the Super Bowl. This is one of those games that sparks something. You're absolutely right with that. It really does spark the motivation, right? Because they got a few things motivating them. This is for the division title, essentially, because the Falcons should not be able to beat us, and nor should the Jets. So that should get us to finish the season with a 4-0 stretch, which would be great, right? That's number one. Number two, you're playing the damn Patriots, right? You get up for that. I think I'm going to switch those together. Patriots first. This is for the division on top of that. And this is what gets the thing started. No Pro Bowlers. So you need to prove to these people, you know what I'm saying, that you guys do belong. You guys are one of the best in the bunch. We have the number one defense in the freaking league. Stop playing with us, and let's get this thing going. Now, there are some things that are hindering us in this game, and we got to touch on it. Cole Beasley, out. Gabriel Davis, out. Mitch, are you concerned with how our passing game is going to go today against a very good pass defense in the New England Patriots?
Well, before I get into that, Rico, we kind of just got some breaking news here.
O-line
in warm-ups, left tackle to right tackle. Let me get your thoughts on this, guys. Spencer Brown at left tackle, Ike Bucker left guard, Mitch Morse center, Ryan Bates right guard, Darrell Williams right tackle.
What's happening?
I could say that again. All right, so left to right. All right, left tackle, Spencer Brown.
Left tackle, Spencer. I don't want to cuss this morning. Where's Dion Dawkins?
He's active, but he ain't starting. Left guard, Ike Bucker.
Run that line by me again, please.
Okay. I'll go slow for you. All right. So left tackle, Spencer Brown. Left guard, Ike Bucker. Center, Mitch Morse. Right guard, my fellow Nittany Lion, Ryan Bates. Right tackle, Darrell Williams.
Now,
I guess we just talked about Dion goes out the window, huh?
What is this? Like, you get everybody excited for. Listen. Maybe he's not 100%, and coach, I'll go in if you need me. Then I deactivate him. Then, if we can't have you 100%, like, what is the point? Are you there for an emergency? Like, just jump in the game. Then, if you're active, you're ready to go. They've designated you as active. Get in the line. Now you're gonna go and let Matt Judon, go and rip into Spencer Brown. Now, here's what I do like about that. It's about time that they put in Ryan Bates.
Yep.
I've been waiting for Ryan Bates to jump in. Y'all been experimenting with Cody Ford. I get that part. But Cody Ford being out allows Ryan Bates to come in. Now, Dion Dawkins at the left tackle would have been perfect. But, oh my gosh, man. Like, what is Evan talking about? This is
So I just saw a picture of Dion Dawkins who was giving like fans some gloves and footballs and such sort pregame. That's cool, but he's not playing. So like that, I don't know. Having Spencer Brown at left tackle isn't the worst thing, but like, come on, you got Dion's active. It's just blowing my mind right now that we have a guy active and he's just not playing. Again, I don't know what the symptoms and how COVID affected him. I know the first time around with it, it really affected him. But again, like you mentioned, like if he's active, like is he just there to be an extra body? Because I'm sure there's a couple guys on the practice squad that could have came up and been a better body if they were going to play. You know, you got Evan Kazarzak on the practice squad and a couple other guys. I mean, if Dion's not active or if Dion's not ready to go, why is he active? You know, we're rolling Ryan Bates. Is this the first time Ryan Bates has ever started on this offensive line? Because he's always been a good body to have as a backup. He's always been a guy who can crack this offensive line. And I think this might actually be his first time starting on the Bills offensive line. And obviously we're rolling with the same other two interior. Mitch Morse, obviously center, has been very solid this year. And Ike Boddicker up and down, you know, plus Darrell Williams, right tackle. Keep Reggie Gilliam in the backfield. That's all I'm going to say. Just keep Reggie Gilliam in the backfield. You were about to see the most 12 and 21 personnel the Bills have ran all year. You're about to see it.
Shout out to Data and you, Dave Ritchie says 79 is about to shine. Shine what? Shine Matt Judon shoes? Are you kidding me? Have you seen this guy pass block? He is not a good pass blocker. I hate to break it to Bills fans. I love Spencer Brown. I like Spencer Brown too. As a run blocker, he is nasty. Did you see him? Have you seen him pass block on the right side? Now, have you seen him pass block on the left side? Are you kidding me? This guy's going to get his lunch ate today. And I feel horribly for Josh Allen. If you guys thought Josh Allen was running for his life last time, boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, man. And I'm sorry, we were about to get into the receiving room, but we're back on the O-line. And the O-line is going to give us problems. If you thought that he was running for his life against the Panthers, which is a very good defense, a better secondary than the Patriots overall, but my goodness, man. So this ties into the O-line because now you don't have Cole Beasley as your blanket. You're not going to have Gabriel Davis that has been coming on very hard, very strong these past few games, I'm going to say. So now you're stuck with I don't want to say stuck. You're with a makeshift receiving core that's going to consist of a few players that we're going to touch on. But just a moment, Pierre the Kingpin says, "Yo, Dion Dawkins high off of that Pro Bowl, his bougie ass." Say fuck that. You know what? He made the Pro Bowl, so he's like, "Yo, I'm chilling, bro. Yo, y'all got this, man. Looking at a Pro Bowl right here, man. I don't like it one bit. Like, don't even. I'm not happy right now. Now, how does this play out for the receiving room? Here's the deal. Gabe's out. Actually, I need both y'all to tell me, how do you have this? You got Gabe, you got Dion, Dion's on my mind so damn much right now. I got me all tongue twisted. Stephon Diggs right now as your number one, which is key. You're always going to need that. You got Dawson Knox as your number one tight end, which is perfect. Those are your two big weapons on the offensive side. But we need to get rid of the ball quickly on the inside. Who are you trusting at the receiving in the inside? Talk to me. Tell me something, man.
I mean, I feel like, I know that he's a guy that they've used a lot on the outside, but this has got to be a day for Emmanuel Sanders, right? To be a slot guy. I mean, I get it. Like, they theoretically put, McKenzie in the slot, but I would rather have Sanders because Sanders can get open. Like, yeah, maybe he's, slowed down a little bit, but the dude's still a good route runner. And like, I don't know, man, like McKenzie, like I do like Isaiah McKenzie, but like, I don't know if I trust having him as like that main slot guy the whole day to day. You get what I'm saying? Like Sanders just gives you so much more confidence. And I think that Allen just has a better chemistry with him. So I like them to see, Sanders in the slot a lot, and you can just kind of rotate a bevy of guys, whether it's, Kumaro out there or whoever, Hodgins. I don't really know, man, but I'd like to see Sanders honestly in that slot.
You know what? We tend to forget about, I can't even believe I'm saying this. We tend to forget about Sanders, but Sanders has 600 yards this year, right? 40 receptions. So he's no slouch. So it is going to be a Diggs, Sanders on the outside and McKenzie on the inside, or are we in this Dable offense? You need to, and this is one thing that I did like about Dable's offense is that you are not just the X receiver. You're not just the Z receiver, right? You have to jump in the slot. You gotta be interchangeable to go left, right. So maybe we see a lot of Diggs in the slot, right? and trying to change things up a little bit. That's what at least I'm hoping if I'm offensive coordinator. But listen, man, we are in trouble today on the pass rush because, like my man Scott Blakey said, Judon has 12 and a half sacks and will end the day with 15. God damn. Sheesh. Bobby Johnson needs to get this. Sorry, he says Bobby Johnson needs to go if this is disastrous, which it feels like it will be. I mean, this is why pregame happens, man. So pregame allows us to talk about some of the things. It's Evan. Did you just read something that you said, oh boy? Because I heard you say, oh boy, or something.
Yeah, I mean, this has nothing to do with much, but I just read that like Cole Beasley throughout the years just gotten fines over $100,000 with all the COVID stuff. He goes, Bills receiver Cole Beasley has been fined multiple times for COVID protocol violations for a cumulative sum in the range of $100,000 per league union sources.
Golly, this guy's been taxed heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, when you got that money, you got that money. Yeah. You I mean, listen, some people like. I mean, let me put it this way. I'm not at all glorifying this at all, but when you see kingpins that are out there, you see like drug dealers that are out there, you see like celebrities out there. They got money. They got two things: stack of money on them. You know what I'm saying? To the side, and they got a lawyer on deck. Right? Those are the two things that you must. If you were a trap star and you out there and you're doing business, whatever, for reasons like this, right? I know I'm getting me held up for some reason. I got money on the side that can just bail me out. So this is what essentially what my man Cole Beasley, let me put like $500,000 aside because I know they're gonna tax the crazy out of me, and I don't give a damn about this. Here's what I'm gonna do. Hey, that's his business. It is what it is. But we are without that dude and Gabe Davis. So and based on their actions of not getting vaccinated. So we have to deal with Kumro. We have to deal with McKenzie. We have to deal with Hodgins. I say deal as if it is a terrible thing. We're lucky because a lot of these guys could probably be on an active roster right now somewhere else. And we have them activated. So who steps up if it's not Diggs or Dawson? Who do you feel is going to be that guy that steps up? Evan, I'll start with you. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a collective role. Again, I don't know what type of offense we're going to run, if it's going to be 3 receiver sets, 2 receiver sets, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, like you mentioned, we have guys on this roster that have been on the practice squad or who haven't seen the field much that can probably be on other active rosters throughout the NFL, whether that be Isaiah Hodgins or Jake Kumaro. These guys are NFL players. These guys are actually good receivers that we just not have utilized this season. And if there's a point in time that these guys are going to play and play to their full potential, it might as well be now, and it might as well be going forward, because we all know Jake Kumaro was Aaron Rodgers wanted to keep Jake Kumaro around in Green Bay for a reason. He's good, reliable. He can catch the ball. He's a big body target, and he's just reliable. He's a guy you can rely on in certain situations. And if that's the point, maybe Jake Kumro's your receiver 2 on the outside today. Maybe he is your receiver 2 on the outside today. Then you're sticking Emmanuel Sanders in the slot and rotating him and McKenzie out, and Sanders and Kumro on the outside. Or maybe you're going to give Isaiah Hodgins a couple looks on the outside. Or maybe you give Marquez Stevenson a look going deep. I don't know. I physically don't know what this offense is going to run today with all these different receivers that we just haven't seen much of them at all. There's not much tape on Isaiah Hodgins. There's not much tape on Jake Kumaro with the Buffalo Bills. There's not much tape this year at all with Isaiah McKenzie or Marquez Stevenson. So the Patriots physically don't have enough tape to game plan for these 4 receivers that I just mentioned. We could give them a whole lot of looks that they have not seen in the entire year. This could actually benefit us. This could benefit us better. Maybe it benefits us better because New England's game planning, well, we got Gabe Davis, we got Cole Beasley halfway through the week. Oh, they're out. They're out. There's no more dump offs to Beasley. There's no more, 20-yard post shots to Gabe Davis.
Yep.
We have a different receiving core. We like physically, we are much more different today than we have been all year. And again, there's not much tape. And tape wins football games because that's how you game plan. You don't game plan. Belichick, maybe he's scoping out our practice.
Get in there. Go ahead.
Maybe he's scoping out from the press box. But at the end of the day, tape wins. And if they don't have tape on 4 of our 6 receivers, that's it, man. That could benefit us down the long haul. That could be something that when you're looking back at it, it's like, maybe this was a beneficial factor that we didn't see coming into this game.
Well, I'm gonna try to throw a wrench in this whole situation here, folks, because there are some receivers. I mean, I think Pierre is the one who said this before, but sometimes, and this actually ties into what you were saying, Evan. Sometimes when you have no film on someone, this allows this doesn't allow the team to kind of know what's coming their way, right? And furthermore, it allows for someone to shine, right? What's the most popular phrase whenever a guy goes down? They say the next man up. So guess what? Next man up, Marquez Stevenson. Maybe Marquez Stevenson's gonna be part of this offense that they have no idea what's coming their way. McKenzie, although a different type of receiver than Cole Beasley is, he is quick. You get the ball in his hands, there's a lot of good things that can happen with that yak. And y'all, I mean, I love me some yak. But thirdly, Isaiah Hodgins, and people don't talk about Isaiah Hodgins, but he can move faster than a lot of people want to give him credit for. That's number one. Number two, his rookie season, he was having a very good camp. He was actually going to make the top 6 receivers on our team at the time. Problem is, he had a bum shoulder, so he was out. So it gave somebody else an opportunity to jump on that roster, because at that point we were talking about, is Isaiah McKenzie even going to make it? And then that's when the injury happened. So if Isaiah Hodgins is active, maybe, just maybe, we might see him get some action and start moving the chains for us. But most importantly, we're gonna have to live and die with Dawson Knox, with Stephon Diggs. That's gonna be covered by JC Jackson. And you know JC Jackson's gonna be following left, right, center. He's going to travel, and he's gonna make sure that he takes him out as best he can. But JC Jackson thinks that he's going to blanket our guy Stephon Diggs. He says, "Yo, I like to travel." Oh, what do we got here? Let me give the.
So I got this for Christmas. This is the last time the Bills played New England in New England. It's Diggs looking back at J.C. Jackson on that crossing route he had on, I believe, 3rd down, and the commentator of that game was like, "Taillights time, Diggs touchdown." He's looking back at J.C. Jackson in this photo, and that's going to happen today. Hopefully.
I love it. So, folks, we are about 20 minutes to the game before game time starts. So are your nerves shot? Are you guys in a mode where you guys like, I don't know what to expect? Evan, I'm gonna start with you, man. Are you nervous about this game, or do you have good feelings, or are you like, I do not like the way this is going?
Well, I'm going to start off and say I've always had good feelings with Josh Allen at quarterback with his team over the last 2 seasons. But looking at it halfway through the show, we look at the pregame warm-ups and go, okay, Dion Dawkins isn't playing. So, I mean, my expectations went down a little bit. But again, with Josh Allen at quarterback, there's always something to look at and be optimistic, no matter who you're playing, to be honest, because Josh Allen could have a game where he just lights up the world, whether that being prime time or 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Josh Allen can do whatever he wants because he is that good of a quarterback. Despite the offensive line struggles he has been dealing with this year, we've seen great games from Josh. And again, when Josh is your quarterback, there's always optimism and there's always high expectations you should be setting for the Buffalo Bills, because at the end of the day, he is our offense. He is our team, whether we look at it or not.
Nice.
It's Josh Allen through and through. So whether Dion's playing or not, Josh is going to have to do what he's got to do.
Absolutely. Listen, my man Bobby Ray comes in and says, "Yo, stop this nonsense, man. We need to spank these mother effers." And I totally agree. Mitch, do you feel good about this game?
You know, I'm somewhere in the middle. You know, of course, oh man, I'd love to just walk into Foxboro, put McCorkle in his place. You know, kind of tell him who's boss. But let's not forget, though, you know, these guys ran our division for 2 decades, and McDermott is 2-7 against Belichick. I don't think we can just sort of act like that's nothing. You know, he doesn't have the best record against Bill, but you know, we'll see what happens. But I do agree with Evan. You know, at the end of the day, we got Josh Allen. That gives you a chance in any game you play in. You always have a chance to win because 17's back there and 14's on the outside. Give me those two, and I'll take, you know, I'll see what I can do with that.
I like that. I mean, some people feel good about it. I know you two, but gentlemen, feel good. But Scott Blakely's out here pacing and drinking. I'm a wreck with this damn O-line. He's not happy about it right now. And I'll tell you this, man. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I don't feel good. I do not feel good about. Listen, I felt better when I knew Dion Dawkins was playing. I do not trust Spencer Brown at left tackle. I'm sorry. I don't trust him. He's a liability at that position. You better keep him to the right-hand side. I'd rather you put freaking Ryan Bates at left tackle before you put that dude in. But here we are. I'd rather put Doyle in at left tackle before I put in Spencer Brown. I just don't trust him there. I just don't trust him. And when I don't trust my lineman, guess what? My quarterback's not going to trust his lineman. And guess what? He's not going to make his proper reads, not going to be able to make his proper reads, and he's going to be running for his freaking life. And that's exactly what Belichick wants him to do. Run the ball. And we're going to crack you up real good. And then we're going to have to deal with Mitch Trubisky. And then there goes the division. I still want to win this division, but I don't feel good about it. What I do feel good about is this defense. And I feel good that this defense is going to play motivated. I think they're going to force McCorkle to be McCorkle. Let's see how good you are on this number one pass defense, and let's play this game. Let's see how this plays out. One thing that is going to play into our favor, though, is the weather. And the weather in Foxboro, compared to last time that they played, is very good. So right now, I'm using Canadian measurements when it comes to the weight. So it's that weather, if you will, because you guys deal with Fahrenheit, we deal with Celsius over here. So right now, it's going to be 3 degrees going into this game. Which is great, and it's gonna feel like -5, right? So for you guys, I don't know how it plays out in Fahrenheit. You guys can figure that out and post it in there, and I'll do that. But right now, for this game, that 1 p.m. start, we're gonna be at +4. But with the wind, it's gonna feel like it's -1. Excuse me, it's gonna feel like it's -1. So we'll see how that plays out. Listen, that's way better than what we played in last time with the winds gusting all over the place. So calm winds, nothing too crazy. No rain expected, no snow expected. So this should be a clear game. So we're about to find out if our $250 million man can attack this defense, this Patriots defense. And let's put it this way, man. It hasn't been like Josh hasn't played very well against the Patriots. Last year was pretty damn good, but overall, Belichick has owned him. So we'll see how this plays out, gentlemen. We'll see how this plays out. Evan, what you got for us, buddy?
So I got 2 things. I just read something that the Bills actually save $6.1 million if they cut Beasley this offseason. And there's a couple big-bodied slot receivers that are much younger than Cole Beasley. I'm not saying I want to get rid of Cole, but if a Chris Godwin or Juju Smith-Schuster comes available, that is something that could be looked at coming this offseason. And anyone that is playing fantasy football this Sunday might just give a couple actives and inactives for championship weekend. Lamar's inactive. DJ Moore is active. Adam Thielen's active. Travis Kelce is inactive. He's on the COVID list. Tyreek Hill is active. DeAndre Swift is inactive. Many guys have them as their RB1. Damian Harris is active, sadly. Brandon Cooks inactive. Antonio Gibson likely to play. Austin Eckler inactive, Delvin Cook inactive, and Mike Evans inactive as well. So if any of you guys have those on your championship rosters, might as well change that before the 1 o'clock window.
And let me jump in on this Cole Beasley thing. Let me tell you something. Cole Beasley knew exactly what he was up to. He's 31, 32 years of age, give or take. He knows the game, right? He's going to fall on his own sword. Did he know that he might not be brought back? Of course. Look what they did to John Brown, and they got signed at the same time. So he knew what was going on. So if I'm going to be released no matter what, I'm going to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it, and I'm going to just follow my sword. If nobody wants to pick me up after this, I'm good. It was already spoken. He spoke it into existence. Let me just put it that way. And I get it. If I know I'm at the end of my career, this is how old folks are. And no disrespect to old folks, but the older we get, right? And you guys are too young bucks, so you'll know you'll be around them a little more when we start working in the field of where there's older folks. 50 to 50, I'd say 55 plus, they start not giving a damn what they say and how they make you feel because they've gone through life trying to mince their words. And when you get to a point where you just say how you feel, that's it. They don't give a damn. So Cole Beasley's kind of like that. Yo, I know I'm coming to the end of my career. So what am I mincing my words for? To play the political game? Nah. That's why people are like, oh, Rico, your tweet's so ridiculous because the reason there's the difference between those two guys because one's louder and one's not. Of course I know that. Of course I know that. When you're young in your career, you don't say a damn thing. You're trying to make it in this league. When you're a veteran, you say what you want, when you want, how you want to. And if they release you, guess what? You've made millions in the game. You can take care of your family and you'll be good. And that's how he's played the game. I get it. It's not gonna make people happy, but I do understand it. But when you read that he gave up $100,000 in fines alone when it comes to COVID, you know that's a man that say, hey man, if my career is over with after this Bills season is cool. Now, who do we place as the replacement? That's the key. So a slot receiver is what we're probably going to be looking for. I keep hearing people say Godwin. I don't know why would the Buccaneers not bring back Godwin? I just don't understand why they would even. Why do we even bother even mentioning that word? Why would the Bucs do that? Evan, you mentioned it. Why would the Bucs do that?
Well, I mean, they franchise tagged him this season. That's the thing. I mean, whether they're looking, I mean, obviously they want to bring him back. He's their youngest receiver, and arguably, I'm gonna say it, he's their best wide receiver on their team. But at the end of the day, Chris Godwin is coming off another really good season, even though he just tore his ACL and he got knocked out. He was on pace to be their best receiver, and he was their best receiver 2 years ago. 2 of the last 3 seasons, Chris Godwin has been their best receiver. And if I'm Chris Godwin, I'm demanding money. And if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm sitting back in my chair and I'm like, Chris Godwin, big-bodied slot receiver, good after the catch, can go downfield, can, kind of moss guys once in a while. We haven't had that in a slot receiver in I don't know how long. Go give him a multi-year contract.
Oh yeah, after an ACL that just tore, you want to go give him that money? Well, are you nuts? We've been burnt before. I'm not trying to get burnt again. You know what I'm saying? So you don't just give a multi-year deal to someone that just tore his damn knee up. Trust me and believe me, the Bills ain't about that life. They would rather have a veteran guy that's been tarnished a little bit, and they'll bring them in. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's that. But the game's about to start not too long ago. In just a moment. But we need some score predictions, folks. Here's 2 things. We need some score predictions, and we need a bold prediction. So, Mitch, I'm gonna start with you. And you don't have to give me a score prediction if you don't want to, but I'm going to force you to do it anyway. So, score prediction and a bold prediction. What do you got? Score prediction, bold prediction. What do you got?
All right, I'll go with bold prediction first. I think bold prediction in this game is that I think Devin Singletary gets over 100 yards scrimmage, not just rushing, but rushing, receiving. I think he has himself a pretty good day. I think that he's going to have to step up with Beasley Davis out in the pass game as a pass catcher. So that's my bold prediction. Singletary goes over 100 yards scrimmage. And score prediction, I said it on the show, on the 5A5 report, which you can catch every week, by the way. Nice. Wink, wink, nah, right there.
No, wink, wink.
But, yeah, all right. But you know what, man? Like, listen, I know, I like, Allen back there. Bill's always got a chance, but I'm gonna go back to what I said with McDermott. 2-7 against Belichick, and this doesn't mean that I don't think the Bills can win this game and should win this game. I'm just gonna go with the, prove it to me. And until then, I'm going to pick against it. So I'm taking the Pats in this one, Rico. I'm taking the Pats 23-17. And I think the biggest thing that comes down to is just, the O-line for the Bills hurts them. And, Belichick just kind of finds a way like he's done for his whole career. So I'm taking the Pats in this one. But, hey, I'm hoping maybe the reverse sort of, I don't know, voodoo kind of something goes on here and the Bills get this win. But for now, I'll pick Pats.
Evan, what do you got? Bold prediction?
As of right. So I'm going to start off with the score predictions. Be 23-17 Bills or 23-16, depending on the score of the various right there. And anything with a 6-7 point win. Bold prediction. I'm kind of torn between this, but I do think that Jake Kumaro gets in the end zone twice on 4 or less receptions for 50 yards. 4 receptions, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Touchdown Jesus is coming today. That's his nickname. Let's see it. Touchdown Jesus.
All right. Here's my score prediction. Bills lose. I don't like it. I thought it was gonna be a tough one. I thought it was gonna be a tough one with Dion Dawkins in, right? Recovering, not having to play the game and being out. He was gonna be struggling in the first place. You already knew how he struggled when he came back from COVID the first time. So how do you think it's gonna be the second time, right? That's number one. We don't have our key players, right? We got a whole bunch of guys that are out of position. And lack of experience on the O-line and in the receiving line. Defensive is where we have the edge, but I just don't think that we can protect Josh enough. So it's going to be a 30. I'm not going to give him that high. I'm going to give him like 27 to like 17, 27-14, 27-17. I hate that. Hate it, but I just don't trust the O-line. Bold prediction. I mean, I can't go with what Mitch said because Singletary, I thought he was going to have a decent game. But I think that Dawson Knox goes off for him. I think he goes over 100 yards in receiving and a touchdown for Dawson Knox. Now, do I want my Bills to win? Of course I want my Bills to win. But I'm also a realistic Bills fan, and I just don't like our odds. I don't like our odds. Defensively,
I
I
do.
hope we score a defensive touchdown that can keep us close. But that O-line has got me sick. Now, here's the silver lining in this, right? I know I've already picked my prediction. I think the Patriots do win this game. But and I know we're still going to make the playoffs regardless. So we may even see the Patriots again for a third time. Just giving you that the heads up on that. But the one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing in this game is how what's the best way I can explain it? How we respond in this game. That's the one thing that I'm looking at, right? How we respond, how we're going to deal with the adversity of having all these players losing to COVID. We're losing them to the list. But the silver lining in this, I was watching Carson Wentz last night. He went with like 18 for 25 or 18 for 20 something, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns with 4 of his 5 linemen out. You know what I'm saying? That's a silver lining, right? He was dealing, and he's the least of the quarterbacks between the two. I prefer Josh Allen over Wentz all day, every day. But he played with an O-line that was depleted against a very good defensive line in the Cardinals. And he was able to put up numbers. So that's a silver lining I see in this. So maybe, just maybe, these guys come together and protect. But Spencer Brown, I just don't trust you, bro. I'm sorry. So listen, we're 10 minutes before the game. Let's sign off right now. Listen, folks, thanks for tuning in. Mitch, let the people know where they can catch the pod and where they can catch you live and what's coming up shortly.
Yeah, so as always, feel free to follow me on Twitter. You can see it kind of in the corner over here. So Mitchell_Broder. And yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts here for the 585 report with Ryan Sullivan. You may know him as Sports Rock 2. We're doing a little alternating, 1 week live, 1 week off with Nap Nose Buffalo with my guys, Manny and Kyle. So this week we're going to be live on Thursday, 8 o'clock. Definitely catch us. If you want to listen to our last episode, it's on Spotify. We drop on Tuesdays, the weeks we're not live. And I'm also assistant editor. So check out the stuff on the BF blog. Guys are grinding. Good work out there. And that's where you can catch me.
1,000%. If you guys are not catching, you mean the 585 boys, the Rochester guys with that damn accent of theirs, it's actually quite hilarious, actually. Especially Ryan. Ryan has a heavy ass accent.
He does.
My goodness, mom, the way he talks, I'll tell you. And you guys need to check that out. And this guy, assistant editor, man, like, listen, all these articles that are coming in, man, they got to come through my man Zach and my man Mitch, man. They're making sure that these articles get posted out there and you guys are reading them, and they're actually quite very good. Evan, talk to the people. Let them know where they can find you on your socials, man, because you're doing your thing on your socials. I don't know how you getting these interviews with these little players that are out there, and you catch them off guard and like, hey, give me a score prediction. How do you doing it, man?
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
All right. Yeah, you can obviously find me down below at EvanH716 on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, EvanHarrington_63. TikTok, anyone listen to TikTok, I'm starting to post stuff more on that, NFL Analyst. Can I plug some of the work I do for Buff State hockey and stuff?
Go ahead, man.
I do. Yeah, so if you got on Instagram at Buffalo State Sports.Harrington, I cover the hockey team and women's basketball over for Buff State collegiate level. So if you guys want to catch me doing some other sports, catch me out over there. I post daily content for Buffalo State sports. So you can catch me over there as well.
Awesome. So folks, listen, that's it for us. You guys know where you guys can catch me. It's the Real Rico _BF. You guys catch me on Twitter. I talk about bullshit over there, and you guys can catch me post game after the game. Obviously, you guys can catch me also Tuesday nights and Friday nights, and as we talk live and we dive into all things Bills. You guys already know, man. So we always try to keep it as authentic. We always try to keep it as real as possible and entertaining. And that's the most important. You guys got to remember that this is all entertainment. It's all for fun. We don't get no pay, no millions for this. This is all out of our own time. And all contributions that you guys send into us helps out with putting right back into the program and right back into you guys. So we appreciate y'all very much for tuning in. It's a big game. I want us to win. I just don't feel good about it. Evan is really feeling extremely good about it. So good on him.
This is what we're seeing today, boys.
Hey,
I
hope so.
seeing that today.
We definitely hope so. So that's it for us, man. You guys have a great game. Catch us afterwards. I don't want to be rated R Rico, but we're going to see how this plays out. I want us to win, but we know how this plays out. So guys, if you guys have not gone, I can't even talk English. If you guys haven't jumped in on our Discord chat, jump in right now. We're going to be going live there. Live. We're going to be in there chatting it up. And if you guys want to join the game thread, it's going to be there. So, folks, that's it for us. And we'll catch you after the game. You guys have a good one. Enjoy the game. Don't spill beer. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Be cool, be straight, and hopefully we come up with a win. But I just don't feel good about it. So, folks, go Bills from my end. Mitch.
Go Bills, baby.
Yes, sir. Evan.
Go Bills. Go Bills, baby.
Go.
Bills by $1 billion.
Bills by $1 billion. We hope so, man. So you guys have a good one. Enjoy the game, and we'll catch you on the flip side. By the way, I hope you guys had a really good Christmas. Let's go. It's a big game. Let's go.